Russia's currency has fallen 20% this week and over 50% this year. The ruble is in trouble. Back in 1998, when Russia's economy experienced a similar crisis, the country defaulted on its debt. How will Russian President Vladimir Putin respond, and what's in store for Russians? Let's take a look. The Wall Street Journal paints a picture whose interests Putin will take care of. Using their words, he'll take care of cronies first and women and children last. Holman Jenkins Jr. writes that Putin's primary aim is to stay in charge of the corruption banquet in order to avoid an opposition coming to power under which, at best, he'd spend the rest of his life in jail. Jenkins believes that this week's sharp currency plunge, which is now in the 70 rubles to the dollar range, was less linked to the fall in oil price than to a mysterious bond offering by the state-controlled Russian oil giant Rosneft, indirectly financed by Russia's central bank. Jenkins writes, expects more such crony bailouts, making it clearer than ever that Mr. Putin's overwhelming urgency is to maintain the loyalty and dependency of his pet billionaires, even amid the deepening crisis of the Russian economy. A piece put out by the AP takes us onto the chaotic shopping streets of Russia to get an idea of the scale of consumer panic. The ruble's collapse spurred Russians to rush out and buy imported cars, refrigerators, washing machines, TV sets, and other major appliances in a bid to spend their rubles before stores put on new higher price tags. Remember, yesterday Apple got wise to this and stopped sales of its products online in Russia because the ruble was proving just too volatile. Bloomberg Businessweek gives us a nice short explanation as to why the Russian ruble is collapsing, and they also give readers the best-case scenario for Russians. In an ideal world, writes Bloomberg, Putin would see that his economy is crumbling and take steps to convince Europe and the U.S. to ease sanctions. Now, those are sanctions placed on Russia because of its aggression in Ukraine. Bloomberg believes that such a move to ease sanctions could have huge benefits. But to do that, Putin would have to dramatically pull back activity in Ukraine, which looks unlikely. Putin's adventures in Ukraine, as Bloomberg calls them, are very popular in Russia, and that's the one thing he has going for him. Now stay tuned to Ukraine Today for more coverage on the ruble and the economic situation in Russia. I'm Steve Brese from the Ukraine Today newsroom in Kyiv.